188 laps completed. Ken Schrader leads. Morgan Shepherd runs second. Darrell Waltrip is third. Dick Trickle fourth. And look at this. Dale Earnhardt, who was all hung out to dry about 10 minutes ago, has caught the lead draft again and is in 5th position. And as a matter of fact, Dale has now moved into 4th position, passing Harry Gant. And now Gant and Dick Trickle race side by side with Terry Labonte there at number 11. I
think Earnhardt's car got so loose he couldn't drive it, especially in the draft among other cars, and he just had to back off. And now that they've made a pit stop, they got the tires, the stagger they want on them, and tightened the car up a little bit, and here he is right back up front.
Trickle using the inside line again, racing with Harry Gant. Certainly an impressive performance, though. And look at Earnhardt go to 3rd.
Well, he just drove by Darrell Waltrip on the outside like he wasn't 3rd.
Whatever was wrong with that car isn't now, huh?
I thought Darrell had blown up when Earnhardt drove by so fast, and I'm not sure that it isn't.
Well, certainly the most impressive story so far, Ken Schrader coming from 21st starting position. He now leads the race, and Jack Arute is in his pit.
And Bob, I'm with Dennis Conner. And Dennis, you guys didn't get a chance to practice down here at Talladega because you didn't have a car ready.
Yeah, we went through some sort of bad experiences in the past several weeks, and we just haven't had time to get the car completed in time to come down here and test, so we had to do the next best thing, go to Daytona. And I'm not sure that wasn't a good move, because we had just left from Daytona with the Monte Carlo, and we sort of knew what it was going to do down there. So
now some of the people here watching this say that the Luminas have been sandbagging in qualifying because they're running quite well in the race. What's your version?
Well, the only thing I can tell you is us personally, we weren't sandbagging. We did what we could. We had a problem in the first round, and when we come back and we're fortunate enough to have the weather clear up and get a chance, we did the best we could.
Well, Harry Gant has presented himself on pit road, but for more action down that end, let's go to Jerry Punch. He's with the crew chief.
Well, I'm with Butch Mock, who's the co-owner of the Morgan Shepherd car, along with Bob Rahilly. And Butch, your car running very, very well, but you guys are thinking about changing tire brands. Why?
Well, the car's running real good right now, and I've been in contact with Morgan. He said the track's just a little bit greasy today, and we tried the Hoosiers yesterday afternoon in the practice, and the car seemed like it stuck a little bit better. We weren't quite as quick on the Hoosiers, but maybe for today's race, we're looking at changing tires.
Well, a lot of drivers, a lot of crew members looking at the Neil Bonnet car. He did change the Hoosiers last time in. The car had been very, very loose, and the Hoosiers will grip the track a little more. But the problem is now, remember, the Hoosier tire is 2 inches smaller than the Goodyear tire. You will see a lot more RPMs here that will push it up over 7,000 RPM, and it may be awfully tough on the engine. Maybe Benny Parsons or Ned Jarrett can comment. Fellas, can an engine stand it all day long at that much RPM?
Well, Jerry, they don't turn that many RPMs with the restrictor plates anyway. It should not affect the valve train, which is normally the thing that RPMs affect the most. So it might shoot them up another couple hundred RPM. It just might get them past the horsepower level, because the horsepower level with the restrictor plate is several hundred RPMs lower than it is without the restrictor plate.
Well, Ned, the problem, Goodyear came here with a tire they thought would work well if it was extremely warm, which it normally is at Talladega, but it's unseasonably cool today. So the hard tire that Goodyear brought is really just not gripping the track like they wanted to, so the cars are very, very loose. Now the Hoosier tires are considerably softer, and they will grip the track. That's why possibly Morgan Shepherd, we've already seen Neil Bonnet, and maybe others, will make the move to Hoosier tires. Let's go up to the Harry Gant pit and Jack Arute. Jack?
Well, Jerry, they've elected to stay with Goodyear tires, but the reason Harry had to come onto pit road for an unscheduled pit stop is he cut one of those hard tires down. So that was costly for him, not only in terms of track positioning, but also getting out of the sequence when it comes time to make your normal pit stops.
So a report from the pit area on what's going on down there, but the action is hot and heavy on the racetrack. Not too much for Darrell Waltrip as his car continues to slide backward. Perhaps a rear spoiler problem on that car.
Well, I think they might have bumped it up a little bit too much. He might have said, hey, it was loose before they made that pit stop, and certainly that will slow you down to make the car more stable in the turns, but it will slow you down. Let me say that Harry Gant did not lose a lap during his unscheduled pit stop. He's about probably 8 or 10 seconds in front of the leaders now, but he's running by himself.
And there are the 7 cars that are on the lead draft, led by Ken Schrader, right behind Morgan Shepherd. And a little bit of racetrack back to the 3rd place car of Dale Earnhardt.
Well, and Davey Allison is up in that crew, and remember, he's one of those drivers that was penalized, that stop-and-go penalty, so he has come from the rear back up to the front, and that means his car is very strong. Here's Eddie Beerswall in the Auto Finders car that apparently having a problem coasting into the pits.
I don't know if he's going to make it or not. He's going awfully slow at that point on the racetrack. If the car should stall, that means that the caution flag will wave.
Car just barely moving. You can see how close he is to the entrance to pit road. And is he going to make it? I believe he is going to make the entrance, in which case the yellow would not come out. We'll continue to watch that situation. Now let's go to Jack Arute, who has an update on the Darrell Waltrip situation with Jeff Hammond.
Well, gentlemen, your supposition was absolutely correct. You went the wrong way with the spoiler. A little bit too much, Jeff Hammond, for Darrell Waltrip.
Yeah, it seemed like it's really hurt the car. We only went up just a little bit, but the car is real sensitive to the rear spoiler. We knew that earlier, so we're just going to have to work on it a little bit and get it back like it was and readjust the chassis rather than the rear spoiler.
How sensitive it may be?
Well, we're talking about maybe 3 to 4 degrees making a lot of difference in this car, and it's pretty evident on the racetrack right now.
Well, he's making a fine run from the front to the back right now, and these guys are really hoping for a caution.
Darrell Waltrip has slid back to 15th position because the spoiler is perhaps 3 to 4 degrees higher than it was a few laps ago, but he's beginning to catch up now with some of the others in front of him. Waltrip using the low line. That's Terry Labonte there in front of him. And there is the leader as Dale Earnhardt now begins to slip back a little as Davey Allison has taken over that 3rd position. So it's still Schrader and Morgan Shepherd, then Davey Allison, and then Dale Earnhardt. Rick Wilson, Dick Trickle, and Mark Martin are also running in this group of 7. We're live at Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama for the Winston 500, and we'll be back after this.